Lyra's small hands trembled as she held her youngest child close. The faint light of the mining colony flickered through the cracked windows, casting long shadows across the walls. Outside, the dusty winds howled through the empty streets, carrying the harsh scent of the asteroid's mineral-rich soil. The colony had once thrived, a small human settlement on the edge of the galaxy, but now it was dying. A deadly plague had spread, and even the most advanced medical technology the humans had brought with them could not save everyone. Her eldest, Jalen, coughed violently, his tiny body shaking. "Mothers, it hurts," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Lyra's heart broke. She had no money left, no credits to buy medicine, and the colony's supplies were limited. She had begged, pleaded, and even offered labor, but the alien authorities refused. Then came the messenger, a tall, thin creature with pale blue skin and eyes that glowed like molten silver. Its voice was cold and mechanical. "Your debt can be paid. Your children may live. Your soul is the cost." Lyra froze. She had heard stories of the soul brokers, mysterious entities who traded life, death, and fate like currency. They were feared by all, even by the alien rulers themselves.
"And now one was offering her a bargain. You want my soul?"
she asked, her voice trembling. The being inclined its head. "Yes, sign the contract. Your children will survive. You will live. But your soul will be mine." Lyra's mind raced. She thought of her children, their soft voices, their bright eyes. Could she really give up her very essence to save them? Her own life, her feelings, her laughter, her memories, everything that made her human, would belong to this creature. But Jalen was already fading, his cough growing worse, and her daughter Mira clutched her hand, tears streaming down her small cheeks. I agree," Lyra whispered, barely able to speak. She signed the glowing contract with a shaking hand. The room darkened as the soul broker extended long, shadow-like tendrils that wrapped around her. She felt a cold emptiness inside, as if a part of her had been carved away. She could see her reflection in the polished surface of the chamber. Her eyes were dull, her face pale, and her body moved. But inside, she felt hollow. She had survived, but she no longer felt fully alive. "Your soul is mine," the broker said, its voice echoing in the chamber like distant thunder. Then she noticed a figure standing quietly in the shadows. A human. He was tall, wearing a simple uniform with badges of rank and honor. His eyes were steady, calm, and full of something she had not felt since signing the contract. Hope. "Captain Elias Vance," the broker hissed. "You are not authorized here." Elias did not flinch. "I am authorized by reason, by justice, and by the understanding that human souls cannot be bought." "This contract is invalid." Lyra stared at him, unable to believe her eyes. You can help me?" she asked, her voice weak. Elias stepped closer. "I can try, but you need to stay strong. Even without your soul, your human spirit has power. You have the ability to fight back, to show what makes humans special." The broker laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "Humans special? You are naive. I own her essence. Nothing can change that." Lyra felt a cold fear creeping through her chest, but Elias's presence was like a warm light in the darkness. He spoke not just with words, but with certainty, with the unshakable belief that humans were not ordinary creatures. They were clever, courageous, and full of heart. "You do not understand," Elias said firmly. "Human souls are not objects. They are living, breathing energy. They cannot be owned, only experienced." The broker's eyes narrowed. "Prove it. If she can show me what makes her human, perhaps I will reconsider. Otherwise, the contract stands." Lyra's mind spun. Prove what makes her human? How could she show this emptiness inside her? She felt lost, afraid, and weak. But then she thought of her children, Jalen, barely able to breathe, and Mira, who clung to her as if she were the only thing keeping her alive. She thought of their laughter, their dreams, their trust in her. That trust and that love. Maybe that was what made her human. Elias nodded at her. "Follow your heart. Use what you still have. The universe underestimates humans because it does not see the strength of our love, our courage, and our hope. You must show them that strength." The broker raised a hand, and suddenly the chamber transformed. Shadows twisted into puzzles and traps. Strange creatures appeared, testing her reflexes, her wit, and her courage. Lyra faltered. But Elias was always there, guiding her, whispering reminders that she was more than her fear. She ran, jumped, and dodged. She solved riddles, protected other trapped souls, and even showed mercy to beings who had meant to harm her. With each action, she felt a small spark return, small but undeniable. She was still human. She still cared. She could still fight. At one point, she faced a mirror-like surface. Her reflection was hollow, empty, but she reached out and touched it. "I am still me," she whispered. "I am still human. I will do whatever it takes to protect my children." Elias's voice came beside her. "Exactly. That is what makes you human. That is what no one, not even the soul broker, can take from you." The broker hissed, its tendrils recoiling slightly. It had never encountered a human who could endure so much, who could think, act, and care even when their soul was claimed. "Interesting," it muttered. "Perhaps there is something in you I did not anticipate." Lyra's heart pounded, but for the first time since the contract, she felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could win back what had been taken from her. And somewhere in the shadows, Elias smiled faintly. He had seen many humans, many worlds, but even he had never witnessed a display of pure human spirit quite like this. He knew the journey would not be easy, but he also knew this. Humans were extraordinary, and they could never be truly owned by anyone, not even the most powerful cosmic entities. As the chamber settled into an uneasy quiet, Lyra stood tall. Her soul might be trapped, but her heart, her courage, and her love were free. And in the vast galaxy, that freedom was worth more than anything. The first battle had begun. Lyra's hands were shaking as she followed Elias through the dark, twisting corridors of the Soul Broker's chamber. The walls pulsed with an eerie glow, as if the very structure were alive. Shadows moved strangely, shifting with the thoughts of the broker. Every step felt dangerous, but Elias's calm presence gave her a strange kind of courage. "You must understand, Lyra," Elias said quietly. "The broker is clever. It has seen countless beings, countless souls. It thinks it understands life, but it has never seen humans the way it will see you." Lyra swallowed hard. "I don't even feel like myself anymore," she whispered. "How can I show it anything if I can't even feel my own soul?" Elias placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You are human, Lyra. Feeling is only one part of it. Courage, love, intelligence, these are just as strong. And right now, the strongest thing you have is your determination to protect your children." The broker appeared suddenly, its shadowy form stretching across the walls like a living storm. "You dare challenge me, human?" It hissed, voice like grinding metal. "Your soul is mine. You are nothing without it." Lyra's heart pounded. She could feel the emptiness inside her, the part of her that had been taken, but she focused on Jalen and Mira, imagining their faces, their laughter, their trust in her. "I am not nothing," she said firmly. "I am a mother. I am human, and I will not let you win." The broker tilted its head. "Very well, prove it. Show me the essence of humanity, and perhaps your soul may be returned. Fail, and you will remain hollow forever." Before her, the chamber shifted again. Strange, impossible trials appeared. Mazes of light and shadow, illusions of fire and falling debris, creatures designed to test her strength and mind. Each trial was more dangerous than the last. Lyra felt fear and fatigue, but Elias stayed close, offering guidance and reassurance. "You can do this, Lyra," he said. "Think, plan, act. Humans survive because we adapt. We find solutions no one else can see." In the first trial, Lyra had to cross a bridge made of glowing energy strands suspended over a dark void. The strands pulsed and moved unpredictably. One misstep meant falling into endless darkness. She hesitated, then remembered Elias's words. Humans adapt. Carefully, she observed the pattern of movement, noticing the rhythm of the pulsing light. Step by step, she moved across, her heart racing until she reached solid ground. The broker hissed. "Impressive. But still, strength alone is not proof of humanity." The next test was more difficult. Lyra encountered trapped souls, beings of all shapes and sizes, suffering and pleading for help. The broker's challenge was clear. Take what you need and leave the rest. But Lyra looked into their eyes and felt something she hadn't felt since losing her soul. Empathy. Her heart ached for them. "I can't just leave them," she whispered. She reached out, guiding the souls to safety, navigating the maze while protecting them from dangers. She solved problems the creatures of the chamber could not foresee, using her intuition, courage, and love to save as many as possible. The broker roared, frustrated. Humans are illogical. You waste effort, you endanger yourself. You should act only for yourself. Lyra turned to Elias, her face wet with sweat and dust. I don't care. Love is stronger than fear. It is what keeps us alive when nothing else can. Elias smiled. Exactly. That is what makes humans unique. You are showing it even without your soul. The final trial appeared as a mirror that reflected not Lyra's physical form, but a hollow, dark version of herself. The figure in the mirror mimicked her movements, but it was lifeless, soulless. The broker's voice came from everywhere. This is you now. Your essence is mine. Accept it. Lyra's knees shook, but she squared her shoulders. She thought of Jalen coughing, Mira clinging to her hand, their lives depending on her. No, she said firmly. I am not empty. I am human. My love, my courage, my determination, they are mine. You cannot take them. Not ever. The mirror flickered and the hollow reflection began to break apart. Light returned to her own image. She felt a warmth slowly spreading through her chest. Small but undeniable. She was incomplete, but she was not defeated. The broker's form twisted, more shadow than solid being. You have done what I did not expect, it said, almost grudgingly. Humans are unpredictable. You endure even when stripped of your essence. You show compassion and intelligence in ways I cannot quantify. Elias stepped forward, his eyes steady. Lyra has proven what I told you. Human souls are not objects to be owned. Their spirit, their heart, and their ingenuity cannot be contained. The broker recoiled as if struck. Perhaps there is truth in your words. Perhaps there is something unique in humans. Your soul may be returned, but remember the universe watches. Not all beings will be as generous. Lyra's chest swelled with emotion she had not felt in months. Tears ran down her face, but this time, they were tears of hope, not despair. She had faced impossible trials, fought for her children, and reminded the universe, even in the hollow emptiness of her own soul, what it meant to be human. Elias offered his hand. You are stronger than you know, Lyra. You have proven that human spirit cannot be bought, sold, or broken. Lyra took his hand, and for the first time she felt a flicker of wholeness. She knew her soul was not fully returned yet, but the broker had recognized her strength. That recognition alone was enough to begin healing. Come, Elias said. We need to leave this place before the broker changes its mind. Your children need you, and the galaxy still has many who underestimate humans, but you've shown them what we are capable of. Lyra nodded, determination returning to her eyes. She had been hollow, lost, and afraid, but she was human. She had the courage to fight, the intelligence to adapt, and the love to protect. Nothing, not even a cosmic entity, could take that from her. As they walked through the corridors, Lyra glanced back at the shadows that clung to the walls, sensing the presence of the soul broker. It was powerful, yes, but it had underestimated humans. It had underestimated her. And the universe, vast and unpredictable, would learn the same lesson. The journey was far from over. But for the first time in months, Lyra felt hope, a spark of light in the darkness. She was a mother, a human, and a survivor. And with Elias by her side, she knew she could face whatever challenges awaited her in the galaxy. The first victory had been won, but the fight to reclaim her soul and her full humanity was only beginning. The corridors of the soul broker's chamber had grown eerily silent after Lyra's trials. Shadows still clung to the walls, but they seemed thinner, weaker, as if even the broker could sense the change in her. Lyra's heart beat steadily now, her courage rekindled, her mind sharp. She still felt the hollow ache where her soul had been taken, but she carried something stronger, the proof of her humanity. Elias led her into a vast chamber at the heart of the broker's domain. The floor was black and reflective like liquid glass. Above, countless lights flickered like stars, and the air was thick with power, buzzing with the energy of trapped souls. At the center, the soul broker waited, more massive and menacing than ever, but its confidence was diminished. You have survived every test, it said, its voice resonating through the chamber, and yet you remain. Whole in spirit, why? Lyra squared her shoulders. Because I am human. I do not give up even when all seems lost. I fight for those I love. I care for others even when it costs me. That is what makes me human, and no one can take it. The broker paused as if considering her words. Then it asked a final question, sharp and probing. Why should I return your soul? What makes you more worthy than any other being I have encountered? Lyra's eyes glistened with tears, but she did not falter. She thought of Jalen, weak but hopeful, and Mira, clinging to the memory of her mother's warmth. She thought of the other trapped souls she had helped during the trials. Because a soul is more than a possession, she said. It is love, courage, and hope. It is the part of us that makes life meaningful. You cannot own that. You cannot control it, but you can recognize it. The broker was silent. Its form shimmered, shifting between darkness and light. Slowly it extended a tendril toward her, but this time it did not grasp. Instead, a soft glow touched her chest. Lyra gasped as warmth flooded her body. Piece by piece, the emptiness within her began to fade. Her heart, her mind, and her feelings returned, filling her with the familiar rush of being alive. Elias smiled. You've done it, Lyra. Your soul is coming back to you. You have reminded the universe that humans cannot be controlled like objects. Lyra sank to her knees, tears of relief streaming down her face. She felt whole again. The fear, the despair, the hollow emptiness, all of it vanished, replaced by a deep sense of love and gratitude. She could feel her children's faces in her mind, their laughter and warmth filling her being. The broker recoiled slightly. This is not the usual outcome, it admitted. Most beings submit. Humans are different. Perhaps I underestimated your species. You did, Elias said firmly. Humans are strong not because of weapons or technology, but because of our spirit, our compassion, and our determination. That is something no power can take from us. Lyra stood, breathing deeply, and looked around at the chamber. The trapped souls she had helped during the trials floated toward freedom, guided by the broker's reluctant hand. They vanished into the stars beyond, their gratitude and relief echoing silently in the vast space. Lyra realized that in saving them she had shown the ultimate proof of humanity, selflessness. Thank you, she whispered to Elias. I couldn't have done this without you. He shook his head. No, Lyra, you did this. I only reminded you of who you are. Humanity is stronger than you think. The broker's form began to dissolve into the shadows, its presence receding. Remember this, human. The universe watches. Not all entities will be as forgiving, but you have proven that even in the face of ultimate control, the human spirit endures. Lyra nodded. She had learned a powerful truth. Her strength, her courage, and her love were not dependent on her soul being intact. They were part of who she was, part of humanity itself, and no cosmic entity could ever take that away. Elias led her out of the chamber and onto a starship waiting beyond the alien sector. The engines hummed softly, and the stars stretched endlessly before them. Lyra looked at her children who had been safe in the ship's care and felt a surge of love. They were alive because she had fought, because she had refused to give up, because she had remained human even when her soul was stolen. Jalen ran to her and hugged her tightly. Mother, you came back, he whispered, tears in his eyes. Mira clung to her other side, smiling through her tears. I knew you would, she said softly. Lyra held them close, feeling the warmth and joy she had feared lost forever. I'm here, she said. I'm not going anywhere. Elias watched them for a moment, his expression thoughtful. The galaxy is full of challenges, Lyra. Many will not understand humans as we do. But you've shown that courage, love, and determination are stronger than fear. That is the essence of humanity. As the ship rose above the planet, leaving the alien-controlled sectors behind, Lyra gazed out at the stars. She had survived, but more importantly, she had triumphed. The soul broker had tried to claim her, to reduce her to an object, but she had proven that humans cannot be owned, measured, or broken. The journey ahead would not be easy. There would be other dangers, other trials, and other beings who sought to control or destroy. But Lyra now knew her strength, and she knew that humanity's heart, love, courage, and spirit was unbreakable. Together with Elias and her children, she would continue to travel through the galaxy, helping those in need, standing against injustice, and proving again and again that humans were extraordinary. As the stars streaked past the windows of the ship, Lyra whispered a quiet promise to herself and to the universe. No matter the darkness, I will fight. No matter the challenge, I will endure. I am human, and nothing can take that away. And with that, she smiled, feeling the warmth of her returned soul, the unshakable bond with her children, and the endless possibilities of a universe that had learned, at last, the true strength of humanity. The journey had ended, but the legacy of her courage had just begun.